all timeless. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So guys, I got a video from a viewer. I'm assuming it's a viewer. I don't know why they would have sent a video if they weren't watching. So the video was to push back on... I did a video that essentially said Cenk Uygur was being sleazy. It's something he was doing in regards to his criticism of Common Cause. I got more pushback from that video. I think I've mentioned this before than I think any other video on my site. Even in aggregate, like if you compare all of them together, it's like people were pissed. Now, to be fair to DJ, he wasn't pissed. Ultimately, he made 3 points, and I understand his points. It's disheartening that you agreed with Common Cause. Common Cause has been attacking us for years. And I guess the third point would be the founders wouldn't have put this method into the Constitution if they hadn't foreseen a point where the federal government will become, I guess, intractable. Nothing can get through. And for whatever reason, whether it's these guys have their thumb in their asses or these guys are bought. In our case, it's a little of both. So the thought is, if you go from state to state to state, you can get an amendment in order to kind of do an end run around the process. I watched the video kind of with a certain amount of wonder that, and what I mean by wonder is, as I was getting the dislikes, I didn't fully understand the pushback. DJ's video kind of brought the pushback home a little bit better than I figured beforehand. So let me explain it this way. The only dark mark I would give this video is it gives the appearance as if there was only one video in the way it's spliced together. There were two. Cenk had one video, I think it was like 7 minutes, and he had another one, I think it was 16. Now, if anything I say on this is off, let me know. As far as I know, this is my recollection of events, but it's also an explanation of it. I think it explains the situation. At least it explains it to me. 2 videos. The first video, 7 minutes, attacks Common Cause the entire video. And he doesn't necessarily explain anything about their position. He just attacks them. He just bashes them. Now I'm going to put all of these videos in the bottom, including DJ's video. Take a look at each and see if what I'm saying is true. In the second video, I think it was maybe 16, 18 minutes. It was between those. 95% of the video, he just attacked Common Cause. And he wasn't attacking their position, he was attacking them. There's a difference in those things. If you spend, 15, 16 minutes delegitimizing a group, and then you spend maybe a minute to explain their position, you've just attacked the character and legitimacy of the group that you're talking about. Any vocal thing of saying, but this is what they believe, has to be couched in the terms to which you've expressed their opinion, meaning you framed their opinion a particular way. And now, based on this framing, you're saying this is what their opinion is. Now, mind you, you've said they're not functioning with a level of integrity, that ultimately these guys are just lobbyists. They just want status quo. They're a so-called leftist group. It's one thing after the other. You know, they say they want change, but they don't really want change. They're sneaking around in the night to essentially put the kibosh on what we're trying to do. He ascribed a certain amount of dark motives to the group, that the reason they were taking a position wasn't because they just full well, on a gut level, believed in that particular position, in as much as they were being compelled to do so by some other interests. There's a problem with that. There's a serious problem with that. Now, this kind of boils down to this idea of what do you believe is news? Or what do you believe the role of a news organization is? Give a story. Give that story without bias. Give that story with a amount of context. And give the positions of that particular story. You want people to be able to understand what the story is in a well-rounded way. If you're functioning with a level of bias when you're giving that story, you've destroyed the story. Meaning you can't be taken credibly at the point where you're functioning with that level of bias. I mean, ultimately, what I saw was a person get extremely angry because a group was putting the kibosh on something he was trying to do. And look, I take no position on whether or not he should be angry or not. I'm saying it's irrelevant. Wolfpack is not TYT. Those things are different. In this capacity as Wolfpack, he's pissed. He gets on his megaphone. TYT, I think he has almost like 4 million subscribers. And he puts them on blast. And he screams into that megaphone that this group is atrocious. And it's not the position of the group. It's the group itself. Most of those attacks were levied at the group itself, not at their position. Most of the position never really got engaged. Ultimately, he just attacked the group. Essentially, this is a dark character of sorts. Now, the question becomes, is that the role of a news broadcast? Like, it's not given context. It's not given the positions of the people fairly and honestly, even if you can make an argument that said, well, he did tell you their position. That position was couched with like 80, 90% trashing the organization itself. Put it in context. I mean, the point I'm getting at is, this is not a situation where you were getting news. You were getting somebody who was pissed off and was getting across their grievance. He had a private axe to grind, and he used what was supposed to be a news network to do that. I looked at the video and I said the video, he was being sleazy because that's not the role of a news. That's not the role of a news network. TYT, the highest ideals of TYT was not served with him doing that at all. At all. That's what I was pointing the finger at. The substance of the argument between those things was less important to me. The sleaziness in no way related to Cenk himself. It no way related to the position. It purely related to what was taking place. Now, what threw me was, because I thought it was clear, I was like, holy shit, he's just attacking this group in this way, and he's using his news show to do it. I assumed that me bringing that out, people would say, yeah, dude, that's kind of beyond the pale. I assumed that for a few reasons. A, I watch TYT, so I thought, well, I'm an average viewer of TYT, so in the same way I'm an average viewer of TYT, and I see this, I think this is beyond the pale. Surely others may also. Now, to be fair, I don't watch it as much just because I don't necessarily have time with my show and work. But, you know, I used to put it this way. I used to watch, and just to show the no axes to grind on this, I used to watch TYT, particularly during the primaries with Sanders. It's like rebel headquarters. Ultimately, if Cenk wasn't on the show, I didn't used to watch the show. Absolutely enjoyed his aggressive stance. Completely hated when he would have these type of arguments where he's going at the individual, not necessarily the thing that they're talking about. I find it beyond the pale. So if I'm watching this, whether I like the guy or not is irrelevant. I'm watching this, and I'm saying this is supposed to be a news show. This is a show that I still go to for information about what's going on in my world. This is not somebody giving me positions about an issue. This is somebody settling an axe to grind on that news show, and is not doing it in a way that's living to any particular ideal with regards to what is news. That's where that show came from. Now, the people jumped to the middle of the argument right off the bat, meaning that particular point that I'm making is invisible. It's absolutely invisible. It's as if, like Hillary Clinton, when you had people saying, no, Hillary Clinton is the best candidate. It's like, but dude, she can be indicted. What are you talking about? She can't be indicted. She's the strongest candidate. Dude, she can be indicted. She should be indicted. Didn't matter. Sanders, helping Democrats. And you kind of point out like, hey, that doesn't look like a revolution to me. That looks like he's helping get people back into the Democratic Party. Shut your mouth about Sanders. Look, I don't function that way. I don't function that way. So I don't see it in that way. I look at it and I say, well, wait a minute. He shouldn't be functioning in that way. That's kind of fucked up. That's kind of beyond the pale. You can take issue with me using the word sleazy. I can see that. Fair enough. Fair enough. But are you telling me you can't see at all where I'm getting at when I'm pointing at this? And DJ, I'm not ignoring your video. I'm making the point that your video kind of misses the point. And in fact, I think many of the comments did. I think your position is valid. I can't, there's nothing in that video that I disagree with you with the exception of one thing. I err towards the side of caution on this particular issue. It has nothing to do with believing in common cause or not. It's, if I'm being honest, it's a chess thing. I played chess since I was a kid. I don't like shooting myself in the foot, nor do I like, essentially, minority attacks. Look, the point I'm getting at is, yes, you could do something active, you could do something aggressive. I can't foresee the outcome to that action. So I'm somewhat hesitant to go that route. That in no way means I think your position is invalid. I think your position is perfectly valid. And even if you were able to accomplish it, I would cheer you on if I thought you would get to the point to accomplish it. But that's irrelevant. That's my point. That's irrelevant. If I'm calling him sleazy and you think that's too far, that's fair. Fair enough. You may even be right. I can agree with that. But certainly his actions in this case, it's not good. I might have been over the top in calling it sleazy. Fair enough. Fair enough. That was too strong. But the thing that I'm identifying is still there. It's like you guys are giving that a pass. I just think you should not give that a pass. TYT is going to be a new establishment of its own. In the same way that old media is dying, you're going to end up with a new media, a new fulcrum. There will be a new way of things. That's going to be your new way of things. You need to hold them accountable. Look how mainstream news is right now. Is that really what you want in new media? That's all I'm saying. Hold them accountable. Yes, I shouldn't have called them sleazy. That's bad. I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry for the criticism. The criticism is damn valid. That might have been too strong to say sleazy, but the criticism is still there. DJ, thank you for the video. I totally appreciate it. And thank you for not being a dick about it. Because, look, man, you can have, it's not a, you suck, eat a bag of dicks. It was nothing like that. It was more of a, this is my position. This is, this is what I believe is right. And this is why I want to open a dialogue. That's perfect. Can't ask for anything else. I just want to be clear that the video wasn't necessarily about, I just want to be clear on that point. What the video was about. Why I think there was the misunderstanding about it. And the more I think about it, the fact that it was invisible made the word sleazy hang out that much more. Meaning that if you found it sleazy, like if you could see the error in it, and be like, yeah, he's right, that goes too far. If you see it, you might say, oh, dude, sleazy is a little too strong, but you understand the context where it's coming from. If you don't even see the error, like if you're literally jumping to the center of the argument and you paid no mind whatsoever to what just took place, then yeah, sleazy it hangs out. So, all right, guys, I'm going to leave it at this, or I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, thanks for the video, DJ. I mean, ultimately, it helped me kind of get a better understanding of where people were coming from on the one. So, thanks, guys. Hey, guys, I'm looking for what's causing that hiss. So if you're still hearing it, I'm totally sorry. I absolutely apologize. I'm looking into it. I believe it's some kind of feedback in the equipment itself, but I'll find it. Thanks, guys.